Agnetha Fältskog, born on April 5, 1950 in Jönköping, Sweden, is one of the most famous musical icons of the 20th century. With her ideal height, long blonde hair and beautiful appearance, she easily became the model of a Scandinavian goddess in the eyes of many people. However, behind that perfect beauty is a life full of pain. Agnetha not only stood out with her wonderful voice but was also a key member of the legendary group ABBA. Although her career achieved great success, love was the biggest destructive factor for Agnetha. Today we will explore the life of Agnetha Fältskog. Although Agnetha's father, Ingvar, was just an apartment store manager and his wife was a housewife, both of them had a great passion for music and the entertainment industry. Although they did not have the opportunity to develop their own career in showbiz, when Agnetha was born, Ingvar saw an opportunity and decided to put his faith in his daughter's musical talent. From a very young age, Agnetha showed a special talent for music. She wrote her first song, Two Small Trolls, when she was only 6 years old, and by the age of 8, she had started learning the piano. Not only that, Agnetha also sang in the local church choir, where she continued to develop her singing voice. Ingvar's dream of a career in the entertainment industry gradually became Agnetha's own dream, and from the age of 10, she had nurtured the dream of becoming a famous artist. Agnetha Fältskog began her musical career at a very early age. She formed her first band with two friends called the Kamers, and the group performed at small local venues. However, after a while, the group disbanded due to their lack of success, which left Agnetha with a deep sense of satisfaction, as if it was a release to continue pursuing her own dreams. Inspired by big stars such as Aretha Franklin, Connie Francis, Marianne Faithfull and Leslie Gore, Agnetha aspired to have a musical career like theirs. At the age of 15, she made the bold decision to drop out of school to pursue her passion for music, while still working at a car company to support herself. During this time, Agnetha met Burns Ennart, the leader of a local band. He was impressed by her voice and invited her to join. Their band quickly gained popularity, attracting the attention of music producers. One of them was Carl Gardlist, a producer who had just retired from a successful career in rock and roll. After hearing the band's demo, he was only interested in Agnetha and her outstanding talent, from her voice to her songwriting ability. This was a major turning point in Agnetha's career, as she began to branch out and develop her own music career, no longer just a member of a band but a shining star. Agnetha Fältskog signed a recording contract with Cupo Records, marking a major turning point in her musical career. With the support of this record label, she released her debut single Jag Är Så Kär in 1967 at the age of 17. The song immediately became a national phenomenon, selling 880,000 copies within a year and catapulting Agnetha to new heights in the music industry. Throughout the late 60s, she continued to thrive as a national pop star, appearing on numerous television shows and releasing many hit songs. However, everything changed when she met German musician and producer, Dir Zimmermann. Their relationship led Agnetha to make important decisions without thinking too much. Agnetha Fältskog, after falling in love and getting engaged to German musician and producer, Dir Zimmermann, decided to move to Germany to pursue her dream of becoming a big star there. Zimmermann convinced her that if she sang his songs, she would quickly become famous. However, when she arrived in Germany, things did not go as expected. Agnetha could not get along with the German producers and her musical style was heavily criticized. They called her chosen material horrible, which made Agnetha start to doubt Zimmermann's plans. Feeling defeated and unappreciated, Agnetha decided to break off the engagement and return to Sweden to continue developing her musical career in her homeland. Agnetha's relationship with Dir Zimmermann was the first sign of a pattern that she would encounter many times in her life. Every time she nearly ruined her career, a man would appear and become the root of it all. After Zimmermann, Agnetha met Björn Ulvaeus, a member of the famous folk band the Hootenanny Singers, in 1968. Their relationship grew deeper and in 1971 they married. The union was not only romantic, but also musical. Both were musicians, and their relationship created a strong connection, not only in love but also in their musical careers, marking a significant turning point in Agnetha's life. In 1972, ABBA was formed by Agnetha Fältskog, Björn Ulvaeus, Benny Andersson and Annie Frid Lyngstad. These four talented musicians who had previously collaborated together decided to form a supergroup and created a global musical phenomenon. ABBA quickly became international stars, not only dominating the charts in their home country but also reaching the top of the international charts. With their unique sound and catchy songs, they completely dominated the 70s. ABBA became one of the best-selling artists in history, leaving a deep mark on the hearts of fans around the world. Ingvar's dream of his daughter becoming a superstar came true when Agnetha Fältskog, with her powerful voice, joined ABBA in its rise to global prominence. ABBA released 8 albums between the 1970s and early 1980s, all of which became smash hits, selling millions of copies worldwide. The superstar group became an integral part of shaping the sound of the 1970s and 1980s, with their catchy songs and unique musical style. However, by the late 1980s, the group began to lose momentum. This confused many, but to insiders, it was clear that the relationship between Agnetha and Björn had seriously deteriorated. In 1980, the two officially divorced, marking the end of an era and raising questions about whether the band could continue. Although ABBA had lasted a long time, the group's breakup was inevitable. Agnetha, devastated by her breakup with Björn and the strained relationship within the group, withdrew from public life to focus on her mental health. From 1982 to 1983, ABBA stopped performing without any official announcement, leaving millions of fans disappointed and confused. The abruptness of the breakup led the media to criticize Agnetha, making her the bad guy, which only exacerbated her grief and depression. To cope with the emotional shock, Agnetha sought therapy, a long and exhausting process, but one that helped her find peace. After overcoming the pain of ABBA's breakup, Agnetha was ready to return to the music world, albeit without the band. She recorded at least 4 albums in the early to late 1980s, but despite domestic success, they failed to recreate the magic that ABBA had once brought. Agnetha was still a talented artist, but she realized that she could not recreate the old glory on her own. The joy of writing and performing had faded, and she realized that she needed to take a step back. During the 1990s, Agnetha focused on finding herself and rediscovering the source of her happiness, no longer feeling the pressure to achieve the same success as before. Agnetha fell into a deep depression, completely broken. She fell into a deep abyss when her father died just a year later. These tragedies left Agnetha's mental health extremely unstable, while her musical career was also gone, with no support for her to hold on to. Loneliness and despair enveloped her life, leaving her vulnerable. At this time, a complicated relationship with Gert Vander, a Dutch forklift driver, began. This relationship was further strained by the obvious difference in wealth and class between the two, leaving Agnetha confused and bewildered by mixed emotions. The relationship between Agnetha and Gert Vander began to make many people doubt whether it was true love. During this time, Vander took advantage of Agnetha's fragile mental state in 1999, 2 years after they began dating. When she tried to end the relationship, Vander refused and began stalking her. Although Agnetha sought a restraining order against him, Vander continued to stalk her, showing up at her homes from the mid-2000s to the late 2000s, making her feel threatened and unable to escape his control. After the tragedies of the 90s, Agnetha gradually found joy and fulfillment in life. Although she did not achieve the same great success as in the 70s, she returned to music and finally found true happiness with herself. By the early 2020s, the unthinkable happened when ABBA reunited in 2021 with all 4 original members. They announced a new album, the group's first studio album in 40 years. It took 4 years to record 10 songs, and when the album was released, It created a wave of nostalgia, earning ABBA their first Grammy nomination in years. Agnetha, in improved spirits, is enjoying her new musical life, although she still has anxiety about heights, open spaces, and crowds when performing. Although Agnetha has overcome many challenges in her life, it would be nice if even her most ardent fans could remember that she is still human. While many may think she should be wiser in her love life, it was her experiences of love and loss that helped her create some of her most beautiful music. Agnetha is in a better place now, finding joy and peace in her music career. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click on the next video that appears on the screen and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new updates. See you in the next video.